doing it. Okay. It's the end of the year, and you know what that means. Toyotathon is on. Also, Christmas. That happened as well. So here's a really tiny Atari. I don't have a better segue. It's brought to us by our good friends at Super Impulse. It includes 10 games. Or 9. No, 9 Atari games. And then I guess Pac-Man isn't an Atari game. It's also the world's smallest. Yeah, 9 original Atari games plus bonus game Pac-Man. It's on the side here. High resolution classic console TV. Well, I don't know why you'd need it to be high resolution. Classic 2600 console. Iconic 2600 joystick. Can't... Oh, I scratched the box. Okay. Jesus Christ, they're really trying to... They're really pushing it here. This seems very much like bullshit being spat out by them. More games, more fun. Was there a older model with previous games? Licensed by, what was it? Licensed by Namco. Whom I don't think are Atari, last I checked. Not gonna even begin to work out what the deal with that is. Lots of battery safety information. Oh, it's because of Pac-Man, okay. Copyright 2024 Atari. So, these guys are making a brand new Atari console, and they're also licensing this. How to change the batteries. You put the batteries in. Made in China, Shenzhen. That's a weird way. Pronounced that wrong, didn't I? It's a weird way to order that. It's brought to us by Super Impulse, whom, again, I have never heard of. Well, I suppose they're the world's smallest guys, aren't they? That would make sense. Haven't taken this out of its box before. I cut the seal prematurely for filming purposes. Oh, there's a thing in the side here. What is this? Collect them all. Oh my god, it's a tiny catalog full of little things. Alright, we'll look at this in a sec. Because I hate my fan base. And I want to torture them with little tiny objects. How do you get this out? There we go. Slides out here. We've got an 80s floor that we can play it on, I suppose. And then we have to get it out somehow, I suppose. I feel like this is far, far too much plastic to be needed. Like, if I were to get the equivalent Technosource bootleg Atari from 2004, or whenever. I mean, it wouldn't really look like an Atari, but certainly be more playable. You know, screen isn't tiny and all that. Please let me in. Okay, there we go. But, you know, wouldn't be like this. Oh my god, there's more fucking... I have to cut through all of this tape to get the goddamn things out. This is insane. This is not good packaging. I get that you don't want your things to be stolen, but Jesus Christ. This is ridiculous. There's a difference between not wanting your things to be stolen and not wanting your packages to be open. There's a line somewhere, and we've definitely crossed it. And we haven't even gotten to the part where we're actually taking out the product yet. I'm preparing to do so. Well, there's one. Now time to do that 2 more times. Varying degrees of success. Keep in mind, this doesn't even guarantee that this will work. It is fully possible that there is something else also preventing this thing from coming out. Other thing cut through it. I'm just ripping up all the tape. I don't really even care anymore. It's impossible to make a package like this and then not have it get destroyed while people try to open it. Right? Like, if you were trying, I would try as well. Now I have to do the same thing to the bottom. No, wait, do I? Do I? Does this bit just come up? I hope to God this bit just comes up. It comes up, but it does it in the most unwieldy fashion possible. There we go. I've broken everything. I didn't want to do that, but I did. Rest assured we'll be having a peek inside of this as well. Respectfully, no giant rocks. I'm not like other YouTubers. Yes, you know who I'm jabbing at. Yes, you know these jabs aren't subtle. I don't care. Oh, they've got a little well, this is actually quite nice. They don't give you batteries in it because they're mean. But I suppose this is how you adjust the screen, isn't it? Yeah. If your real life old-fashioned tube TV does that, you're in big trouble. Let's see. Oh, they do give us batteries. Little pin to pull. Little, it's more of a tab, isn't it? You got, I'm not entirely sure what this is meant to be. I'd assume it's a, oh yeah, this is an RF switch. It's got lots of knobs on the side. I don't remember them being nearly this big or having this many strange buttons and periphery on the side. Do correct me if I am wrong. These wires look like shoelaces. If I knew any better, I didn't think they'd work. This is probably how you switch games, right? Push on the cartridge, don't you? Do these switches work? This one's set to off currently. Can I turn it on? They all seem to be molded in place, which means that this console is currently permanently stuck off. Oh, they're there's a little peeler here that I can peel. It also looks like the O in the word on is a 0. I don't know if that's just because of the font they used or if it's because of the fact that O in the word on is a 0. There's your little clicky fire button, which is far too clicky. This is just a D-pad. This does not feel good so far. I mean, I guess that it's not meant to feel good. It's meant to be the world's smallest Atari 2600, but still. Oh, the switch is on the bottom of the TV. Okay. I feel like they should have made this a functional switch. I feel like they would have had room to do that. I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't have. Maybe that would have required lots of money. Awaken. Wait, hold on. Did something. I didn't get to see it. Powering off. Yeah, you do that. Super Impulse presents the world's smallest. Copyright 2021. How long have they been making these for? I guess we'd better zoom in, shall we? Oh, this is what they consider high resolution. All right. Okay, press to start. Press what? The button. Hold on, my iPad's dying. I need to go get You stare at this menu for a second. That one's USB-C. I can't use that. Right, I guess we're just gonna have to pray this thing doesn't die on me while I'm recording my important YouTube video. Just gonna stop and restart the recording every so often, just so you make sure that what is saved is saved. A small groove on this power thing holding the chair is what is keeping my charging equipment reliably in place right now. I've just gone and found an extension cord. Just normally I'd use my little battery, but that's dead. Because I was charging the iPad with it, like a couple of minutes earlier, and it was full and it used up all its juice, and I was like, okay, it's full and it's used up all its juice. We're probably good to go filming, and now it's at 4%, so I need to get the battery in this thing replaced, evidently. Right, so the thing also had sort of bent prongs on it, which I don't know if that was meant to be an indication that I shouldn't plug it in because it'll explode. Well, I hope it wasn't. Don't want to die. Right, the console has either run out of battery, turned itself off, or run out of battery and turned itself off simultaneously. Let's try flipping our little switch here and getting it back on. It is, in fact, alive. Alrighty. That very fast blinking just seems like it's sort of the video game console equivalent of screaming at me. Stop that. This is what you get to deal with when you've got the world's smallest Atari 2600 tiny arcade, plus a bonus game, Pac-Man. Well, let's play Pac-Man, shall we, since it's the bonus game. Yeah. Right. That's a great noise. Are we Pac-Man? Yes, we are there. We got, oh. Alright, Pac-Man is dead. Alright, Pac-Man is dead. Alright, Pac-Man is dead. Alright, Pac-Man is dead. Right, let's see. What's his... Oh, now he's really dead. Pretty sure this was not the title screen of the original Atari 2600 version of Pac-Man. The original Atari 2600 version of Pac-Man actually did not have a title screen because Atari 2600 games did not have title screens. I promise you there are dots that he is eating. I can see them. You cannot see them on the camera. That is a you problem. Let's get one of those cherries, shall we? If we can actually move in the right... This is a shit maze. I mean, I imagine the whole point of Pac-Man is that the mazes are meant to be hard to get through. But this is ridiculous. Either that or the input lag on this is just horrible. Oh, and now we can't see where the ghosts are. Did I get one? Or did it just run out? I feel like that was a really stupidly short time for that power-up to last. What is going on with the... What? What was that? They teleport now. Well, they're ghosts, I imagine. Alright, so my high score is 165 on whatever version of Pac-Man this is. Try and beat that. You probably won't because you don't own this console. Yeah, that button just takes us back to the main menu, which is the most confusing and annoying spot to put a reset button. I just pushed a button. Fuck you. Okay, that turns it back on, thankfully. Yeah, push the thing. You can see why people like Famiclones. There's a formula, and they've sort of got it, and these guys very much have not. Push start, alright. Yeah, it's asteroids. On a tiny screen that you can barely see. There's a certain novelty aspect to this, which... Oh, I can just do that. Just win at asteroids. They didn't really think this game through very well, did they? Alright, let's reset before this joke gets ruined by an asteroid hitting me. Breakouts. Several breakouts. Why do you move the joystick up to go down and down to go up? I am moving down. Now I am moving up. Why? Right. Option. Just the one. The singular option. You know what? They were correct. That was one option. No, you lied. There were multiple options. Why is option more colorful than start? Do they not want me to play this game? Are they worried it's going to be bad? Yeah, I think their worries were definitely not in vain. That's bullshit. Normally it launches from the paddle, doesn't it? So you actually know where the damn thing is. Was that the paddle speed? Was the paddle speed slow? Did I choose slow paddle speed? Because that's what this is. This is slow paddle speed. Slow and jittery. I feel like this is I know this is the Atari 2600, but I feel like they could have done a bit better. I mean, I'm not complaining about that the one where it bounced off the side of the paddle there. I'm not complaining about that, but aside from that, they could have done a bit better. Okay, scratch that. Maybe this is great and the best version of Breakout I've ever played. I do wish the paddle was a bit bigger though. You return to the menu. Centipede. That's never not going to trip me up. It's Centipede for the Atari 2600. If people don't know what to expect, you'll see pretty much what the game is now if I'm able to play it. Yeah, it's just this really. Just sort of boop, boop 'em. Oh. Now it's going back up, and now I can just... Okay. That was Centipede on the Atari 2600, on the world's smallest Atari 2600. Tiny arcade with optional bonus game Pac-Man. It's not optional, is it? I mean, it's optional in that you don't have to play it, I hope. Combat. Again, do not understand the deal with giving things title screens and main menus when I feel like they're perfectly invented a new word, perfectly usable switches on the main dongle that you could just use. I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to put the switches. Okay. Well, I'm evidently the one that's spinning around, aren't I? This is awfully slow-paced. I don't know if it's because this is an Atari 2600 game, or if it's because this is a very badly programmed version of an Atari 2600 game. I feel like the frame rates on the 2600 weren't this bad. Why do they go over there when I shoot them? Millipede. It's like Centipede, but different. Copyright Atari 2019. I've seen 3 different copyright dates so far. None of them check out. Yeah, it's like Centipede 2. It's like Centipede, but with more peed. I don't know what that means. I don't want to know what that means, actually. Okay. They get down into the part where they're not supposed to get down into. Yeah, I suppose they did, didn't they? Right, that's the bad bit. Missile command. I'm not even going to bother straightening the thing out at this point. So maybe oh, Jesus Christ, that's going to give someone a seizure. Or it maybe would if this thing wasn't about as tiny as an ant. Hence the ant on the packaging. To denote that it is, in fact, the world's smallest. The deal here is that you're meant to not do that. You're meant to do this. Sort of blow up in the face of the missiles. Not let that happen. That's bad. You don't want that. That generally means that you have failed as a missile commander if the missiles hit the thing that they're supposed to hit. Unless they're your missiles, in which case you've succeeded. But again, with the singular option. No, they were right on this one. This one was a singular option. Right, Pong. It's Pong. If you ever want to play Pong on a real tiny screen with confusing, or not confusing, but just generally cramped controls, then you can get the Thumby. Don't get this. The fire button does nothing. Tempest. I'm gonna go 10 of these. Tempest. Ooh, fancy. Wasn't this a vector game originally? Oh, I really don't feel like this is something the Atari 2600 could handle, like even remotely. This is how you win Tempest, I've decided. Smallest fully functional desktop console game. Do you have a source on that? But I've just realized this says, or it might say, I think it says, yeah, 9 original Atari games. Does not in fact specify that they are 2600 games, so these may be games from a completely different Atari system. Up. Yep, I got it this time. Warlords. Right, let's play that one, shall we? What? Oh, we're doing it. Okay. How do I make things happen? I've got a fire button. Oh, I meant to bat them back around, aren't I? Okay, fire button doesn't do shit. Which sort of like reverse breakout, I guess. You've got a little paddle and you move it around, but you want to stop things from hitting your thing instead of make things hit the things. Well, I suppose you do sort of want to make your thing hit the other person's thing. You want to make it hit. I think this game's frying my brain. All right. And we're back around to Pac-Man. All right, that was a fun and interesting look into whatever this was. Now let's take it apart, have a look on the insides. This is just the controller. There's nothing interesting in here. This is just going to be a straight pass-through because this isn't a switch. Yeah, that's not a real switch. It's just molded in there. So, may as well look at this, which I suspect is just a button. I'll be back when I've done that. It's a button. Right, it's 1 a.m. I believe all the Toyota dealerships are closed this hour, so here's a small addendum in which I go through the little bit of paper that I promised I said I would. Which, as you may know, I very rarely go through a little bit of paper that I promise I will, but we're doing it this time. Here's, yeah, we got Hungry Hippos, some Vigigames, or not Vigigames, board games, Knife Guns, World's Smallest Hot Wheels, Bop It, Gigapets, out of all things. Very specific strain of fake Tamagotchi. Made by Tiger Electronics, the Furby guys, who, you know, later sort of improved on the Tamagotchi idea with the Furby, but I guess they had to rip it off first to get their bearings. Waterfalls, which are like those little tiny water games, except for the fact that they only have one button and they're really tiny. Well, the normal ones aren't. They're fucking massive, but, you know, these are the world's smallest ones, so I'd expect them to be the world's smallest. Tiny arcade and micro arcade things from people. Don't know if any of these will be more interesting. A very small rock. It's just, they're just selling you a pebble, alright? Cool. Squid Game figures. Figures? Why do they have figures? What are these called? So if they've got a name, and I can't read it because this is the world's smallest pamphlet. Pop-taters. Oh my god, they're little Mr. Potato Heads. You can get a tiny keychain Mr. Potato Head of Hatsune Miku. That really, oh my god, there's more on the back. It looks like it's just more of the same. We don't need to see all of this. Right, so that revelation has shocked me enough. I'm gonna go to bed, and then I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll buy a Toyota. Take a peek inside of the actual guts of the console. It's really only about as big as the screen, right? It all fits in the screen portion. Here's your little blob. It's got all the stuff on it. I imagine there's a flash chip in here somewhere. Strange, dodgy wiring. I don't know what this is. It's weird. It's confusing. Tiny speaker, battery, compartmental stuff. What I do find neat is that it just sort of, you know, it's like a little flap. Just sort of hinges in here. It's kind of ruined by the fact that the speaker is in this massive enclosure, though. But I'll throw this back together. Sorry I haven't been videoing that much. I've been very sick, and then Christmas happened. And now Toyotathon is happening, so expect me to be out for a bit more while I buy a Toyota.